Economic and structural reforms are prerequisites for sustainability in Antigua and Barbuda was the focus of a breakfast forum at the Grand Royal Antiguan Resort on Thursday. As government seeks to positively propel the nation's economy, a call is being made for more private sector investment to stimulate economic growth and maintain sustainability. The event, organized by the Antigua and Barbuda Chamber of Commerce, attracted the participation of Finance and Economy Minister Harold Lovell, senior officials in the Ministry of Finance, and members of the business community. Elissa Graham was in the attendance and has this report.
The guest speakers, IMF Mission Chief Jeffrey Bannister and resident representative of the ECCU region, Wayne Mitchell, sought to outline the country's current economic position in comparison to the rest of the region. Mitchell says the country's tax and domestic revenue collection is low compared to other Caribbean countries and suggests that the government find creative ways to address this going forward.
The question you need to ask is, how can a country that generates that little bit of domestic revenue sustain a public service? That's the issue you need to ask yourself. But there's another issue, and I want to salute those here who pay their fair share of taxes in compliance with Antigua's laws. But the issue I want to raise is that is there perchance the issue that there are a number of business persons, entities, and professionals who are not paying their fair share of taxes, and as a result, the tax collection effort is low. And that's something that the public sector, or the government and private sector, have every right to question. Those who are paying their taxes should demand more from the government, but those who aren't paying taxes have no rights and obligations to demand public services. But this is something you need to address going forward.
Speaking from the IMF's perspective, Bannister says to date the institution's program and objectives in the Twin Island states are being achieved. These include debt sustainability, fiscal sustainability, and financial stability. He says there is still a lot of work to be done and advocates for the continuous cooperation of the government in these areas.
We've also discussed public enterprise reform because it's not just a matter of the central government, it's also all of the statutory bodies that, as we know, have significant needs in terms of reform and financing, and then also the civil service. Finally, the third component was financial stability, and this is a situation where it's more looking forward to trying to avoid catastrophes that might happen. The issue here is that the financial sector is more or less out of the control of the government, but things that happen in the financial sector can have a very large and very important effect on the economy. So to the extent possible, what you want to do is try and put everything in place that you can in order to avoid those large issues that may happen or those large problems that may happen. And that involves improving or strengthening the regulatory and supervisory framework for banks, and also allowing the banking sector or helping the banking sector to restructure itself.
In response, Finance and Economy Minister Harold Lovell says the issue of fiscal responsibility should be a united effort going forward and calls on all involved to play their part in advancing the Twin Island state economically.
Fiscal responsibility is not a partisan political issue. It's something around which the entire country must unite, and an issue which we must all seek to understand. It doesn't matter who's in office. We can differ as far as policy prescriptions are concerned, but when it comes to ensuring that we have enough revenue to run the country, that we do the right thing, and that we hold whichever government is in office to account for the funds that are spent, I think that's where the issues have to be. But I thank the presenters this morning because they have shown that in Antigua today, many of our teams are on edge because of tax policy.
He expresses thanks to the speakers for their contributions and pledges the government's support and consideration of proposed ideas and policies. For ABS News, Elissa Graham reporting.